Hi everybody, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch my channel and my creative process. I wanted to thank you all for all of your support. I am approaching 10,000 subscribers, which was my goal for 2019, and you are helping me achieve one of my goals. So much love to you all and thank you. So watch this space. When I do hit 10,000, there will be a giveaway as a way of saying thank you. Now on this video, what a journey. Wow, this was started, let me think, what do I want to say? So this piece started from a canvas that I covered loosely with blue abstract, and I knew that I wanted to work on something like this for a while, but it's been tucked away and I waited until the time was right, and the time was right. So the idea was I wanted to keep true to the essence of the original, which was all these deep blues, creating that sense of you're amongst plants or leaves, but depth, and keep the vibrancy of that. But I wanted a pop of colour. Now originally I was looking at going back to the one that I did, which was green, with my 5 flowers, that is called World of Pure Imagination. Love that piece. I never like to revisit too much of the similar kind of art with resin, because as you know, the resin tells you where it wants you to be, what it wants it to be, and you've got to work with it the best you can. So to try and replicate something might be hard. You've just got to go with a feeling or a same feeling. So this one, I knew I wanted it to be blue. I knew I wanted to have the depth of leaf and follow that principles. And I knew I wanted a pop of colour. So all I'm going to say is, this is a roller coaster ride for you. Hang on to the seats of your pants and be willing to be brave with me and watch it. So there might be some gas and there might be some no's and there might be stay, because what you'll find is there are 3 aspects to this video. The first one is showing me paint over my image and setting my background with acrylics. I then come in with my resin and try to capture the essence of these flowers using a different colour. Now, and also using resinate, so new resin for me. So I'm exploring on a big piece, which I probably should have started on a smaller piece with. How does this resin react? It's a shorter window time. It's you've got 2 to 3 minutes to stir it, and about 10 to 15 minutes max working time. And understanding that, it was a learning journey. So I put on these flowers and the principle was great, but 2 of the flowers fell off. So stage 2 is showing you how I went in to try and recreate it. So the idea being, instead of recreating the whole work, try and save part of the work. So I went back over with my acrylics and my blue, and I added my leaves again to the foreground. In principle, it was looking okay. I thought there was going to be a winner chicken dinner, only to find when I added my resin and added my flowers, I ended up putting some flowers over existing flowers and had this beautiful image at the top right, but the top left one just went a little bit haywire. But what I really didn't like is what I added at the bottom again. It just looked too heavy and too harsh, but I sat on it, getting a little bit stressed because resin is expensive. Nobody wants to waste resin. And I'd also got this idea in my mind I was trying to get down, and it wasn't successful. So I contemplated not putting these 2 stages in, but I thought, no, you as the viewer deserve to see my full creative process. And if this is a long video, you can skip to the parts that you want. But if you really are a supporter of me and my process, you will enjoy me sharing you all these 3 stages. And I think it's important to know we don't always get it right. We are failing. We are trying to get our thoughts onto canvas with this beautiful medium that really is in control of you. All you can do is try and manipulate that. And in the process at this stage, you see my gammy hand. So I put my burner in a place I don't normally put it in, and the nozzle fell on my hand and I received a nasty burn. Now, I would just say, remember, safety first. Always think about that. It's the first time I've actually done that, but it is something that happened. And also on the second layer, I'd not tied my hair back, which is where I normally do with resin. Got really into the creative process and found that as I was leaning down, a big chunk of my hair got caught in the resin, and I had to say to Neil, chop it out. I've got a chunk of hair missing. Now on this one as well, you'll notice I'm wearing my respirator on some aspects and some aspects of the mats. That's me trying to understand what is the toxicity of this resin, the smell, headache, and some of it I think it's going to be quick, so I think I can get in and out. So please always wear your respirator. Safety first, regardless of what the manufacturer says. It is a chemical, you are heating it up, and there are going to be fumes, so don't follow my lead in this one. Please, please, please think about your lungs. And so I contemplated, left it in salt for a couple of days, and decided to do the third and final layer. And this is where you have to hold on to the seat, because I blank it all out and start from the very beginning. But what was amazing is, because I blanked it out with the ultramarine blue, it was semi-transparent, so that dried where you could still see some of the background coming through, just enough to add depth and character and get you curious, but blank enough for me to restart this image. So I decided I wanted to go for more of a striking colour. So I applied my acrylics, loved how it was feeling. I decided that I wanted to add orange, because orange is a beautiful contrast to blue. I knew I wanted to keep it floral, so I decided to add it with the acrylic brush itself. And then I envisaged I wanted 3 big flowers, and I went for bold colours, absolutely love them. However, it felt disconnected, and I really didn't like the yellow, or it didn't feel right. But what happened is, I waited and I contemplated with Neil, and I've decided to leave this part in the video so you can see that I take time out to stop and reflect and see. Before I deconstruct anything, there's a serious thought process behind it. So I've left that in for you to just listen about a natural conversation with me and Neil about what do I want to save or not. So I decided that I loved everything about this, apart from it was disjointed. I wanted to keep this beautiful phoenix that was hidden behind the plant that came out organically from the resin, and I wanted to transport another one into a baby, or one in the background, phoenix in the background, but I knew that I wanted to dilute the yellow in the other areas and bring that back to flowers. And to me that was just enough to pop. And I am Sharon, I am digressing, but there are hours upon hours and hours of creative process, thinking, stress, tears, pain, hair loss, all to show you this creative process. And I am super happy. I do apologize the very end video, because it's a very big canvas and it's got very dark ultramarine blue. Through that there is a high shine, and I try my best to show you that, but unfortunately you're never going to capture it. But I am so in love with the depth, I am so in love with the glitter and the mystical feeling of this. I love how it all comes together, and I can feel the story of the mum rising phoenix looking after her baby, who is in this forest where all these orange plants are, where they can hide safely. And I hope that you enjoy this process with me. And I'm Sharon, I digress, but I don't care. I wanted to share this with you. I hope you enjoy watching this process. I hope you find some relaxing time in there, and I hope that you come back and visit me. So remember, thumbs up, subscribe, share, comments are always welcome, and watch as much of this video as you can, because that's your way of paying back to me, the artist, and that is what helps my channel grow and help me to be able to keep putting videos out there with you. So I hope you enjoy. I'm super proud to show you this piece, but also a little nervous because it's typical Sharon. It is nothing like what's happening out there, and it is unique to me, and it is a pop of colour. Thank you for all your support. See you on the next one. Bye. Hi everybody, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. I think today in the studio is called revisit some of my paintings that I started 8 months ago and haven't done anything with, but knew that I was going to work on a project with them. So what you can see behind me, my ocean is curing underneath, is this piece. Now this piece is just had an acrylic base done. That was done about, I'll show you a bit closer, about 8 months ago. And there are aspects of it that I want to use, but I want to come back in and add more depth. So the image may change, but I want to stay true to the essence of the image. And this is going to be very much like my green flowers one, so the world of pure imagination. So I'm going to have a blue background this time, so I want to work on the depth of the leaves. This was when I was just working on covering a piece I didn't like, and I just wanted to add a background, and I did it with blues. And I really love how orange and blue really complement each other. So I'm going to let you see how I come back in, rework this, get the depth in the leaf. Then what I'll do is I'll come back with my resin, put it all over, and then add some beautiful vibrant flowers. So it'll feel like a different world or a different planet, but hopefully lots of dimension. So the colours, it's just going to be a selection of what acrylics I've got in my drawer. So whatever you've got in your drawer, use different tones of blues that'll be gradiated with the white, a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of silver, and also some orange just to make it pop. So that'll be the background hopefully, and then bring it forward with the resin, which I've already said, so I'm already digressing. But I hope you enjoy seeing me work on this. So this is definitely a day for looking at your canvases or paintings that you've not worked on and getting them back out, finishing them, bringing back to life, because I really love this piece, and this is going to be another piece that I will have in my art. So yeah, come on this journey with me. Hope that you don't mind seeing me deconstruct this painting and reconstructed it, and hopefully it's a success. So we'll see you on the other side, and I'll do my best to talk you through, but have the world of pure imagination and just imagine that you're on a different universe with me, maybe Avatar inspired, who knows. But yeah, I'm digressing. Ciao, I'll see you on the other side of this. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible. I'm so sorry, this is supposed to have been recording, but for some reason it didn't record. So you've not seen me layering the blues and everything. I ended up getting rid of the orange because I had to get the depth, but I will be coming back through with that. I've just had my highlights, but I'm coming back through with my brush now to blend that. And all I can do is apologise and hope that you trust that I have done this. Alright, well I'll continue. So as I just mentioned, I was devastated. Throughout this whole process, as mentioned before, three sort of major things when you're in the studio happen. I got my hair stuck in resin, had to chop it off, and I actually lost footage 3 times throughout this process. And as I mentioned, some of it made me cry, because when you're taking your time to get into your work, you check your camera, you think that it's recording. I actually saw some of this footage and played it back to myself, so it was there. But when I've been downloading it from my storage and adding it to my computer and then clearing it off my storage to free up some space, I must have either inadvertently deleted it, or in the downloading process it's not come through. So I just hope that you trust that the bits of Mrs. footage I actually did and that it doesn't devalue it. Anyway, I'm going to let you listen to a lot of music throughout this, because I have talked quite a bit as I'm doing it. But the one thing you need to be mindful of when working with acrylics or trying to create that depth, it's important that you have your dark colours at the background and that you start to blend it through and keep standing back and having a look at it. And you have to be a little bit quicker than you do with oils, obviously, because acrylic sets quicker, but just use your imagination, have some fun, think about where the light's going to be hitting and keep standing back. And then you'll see me come in and add that touch of glitter. It's a beautiful like aqua peacock blue and then a deep blue, and just shimmering that all over just adds to that magical feeling of it. And I use my tin foil, which is my Peebo, where I add it again just at the edges where I think it's going to highlight. And I start off with silver but eventually move to blues and greens. But anyway, I'm going to let you rest and watch this video. If you've got any questions, feel free to pop them in comments at the back, but please make sure that you do watch the video or read the description before you ask any questions, only because I am having a lot of people asking me stuff that's already in my description, and I am such a giving person. I will always answer your questions, but if you just take that time to check that box in the description, that will actually help you and help me. But other than that, relax, enjoy the music, and I hope you do enjoy the processes that you do get to see. I'm devastated, but overall so happy with the end result. See you shortly. Hi, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. So I have finished working on my base that I'm happy with. I have added my bit of glitter. I've got a tiny little bit of orange. I did have more to start with, but I wanted to pull it back because I know I'm going to be adding colour for my flowers. I have taped my underneath now because I'm going to be working with resin, and it'll help me get rid of those little resin nipples underneath. And also I've put some cardboard underneath because I'm working with a canvas and resin can be heavy, so it can make the canvas weigh down in the middle. So I've made sure that that's all prepared. What I am doing now is just checking that it is dry enough. Certain parts are tacky, but what I do have to do is apply a little bit of my glue, which is my mixation relief. I'll show you what that looks like. Bear with me. Because this needs to dry for about an hour, and then I am going to add a little bit of my foils, maybe silver blue, maybe a bit of green, not too sure, just to highlight some of these leaves that swirl around, because that will help create some depth. So I will record this process for you. It's optional. You may or may not like it. The same with the glitter, depending on what you're wanting to do. But for me, I really enjoyed it, and I know that once I added the resin and the flowers, this part really did add value. So I'm going to stick with that because this is my piece and it's all for me. All right, you relax and I will put some music on. Hi, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. Putting my gloves on, just checking my camera is actually on and working. Yes, it is. So this should be dry enough for me to apply my pigments, and I'm going to go with a smorgasbord. So I'm going to be using 3 colours from Decorum, not necessarily these together, but I am going to have the teal, the chartreuse, I can't say that one, mint green, lovely, fuchsia, and by the Colour Cottage, heavenly blue, and then from Resin Art Luster Pigments, purple sapphire, aquamarine, and gold diamond. So I am thinking of potentially having a few flowers or different colours of this, and then these 3 together. Oh, you can't see, it's the other way around. and then the gold in between. So let's see if I change my mind once I mix the colours. That's me, I do that, and I'm digressing. So I am using Resin 8 for the first time, and initial thoughts are I'm loving this product, but I do have to understand it a little bit more. It's a quick work time, so once you've stirred it, you've got 2 to 3 minutes to stir it, and about 10 to 15 minutes work time. And you can tell, because even if you're popping bubbles or anything like that, if you start overheating it or popping them as it's curing, you're going to leave tiny little holes in there. And for some reason I had problems with this particular project with little dints in there or craters, and I never normally get craters within my work. Having said that, I don't often do my resin work on a canvas, so I'm not saying it's the product, I'm saying it's potentially user error, and I'm trying to understand this. And what I might do is work through a couple of the Resin 8 different types, because they've got some longer extended ones, they've got some heat resistance one, and try to use them on different projects. This one definitely did push me to work quick, but sometimes I like that faster curing, because if I know that all I'm going to be doing is applying majority of clear here, just adding a few colours, I want it to dry. But my resin did bleed a lot into this, and it's just me getting to know it, so hence why you'll see me doing a couple of layers, which I wouldn't normally do on a size this big. But you've got to be willing to experiment to learn, to know what the product's like and bond with it. But other than that, it dried quick, it dries hard, it's super clear, and it mixes beautifully. So if I had a magic stop button that would take me back in time, after I apply these centre dots here, right now I'd press stop, because those colours, the composition, how it looks, it just looks so yummy. And if I could have stopped my resin spreading, but it only spreaded because I kept applying too much resin. So the moral of the story is apply it, stop, stand back and have a look at it through your camera or a different lens, see where that resin's going to spread and know when to stop. Because if I'd have stopped it just there, I would have the most amazing piece. But it needed to be something else, and it went on a journey. And continue this journey with me, and hopefully you will feel relaxed. But don't get too stressed, because it's all downhill from here until I resurrect it on the first and final piece, and that phoenix rises from the ashes. So this piece has dried, but there's a few imperfections and I need to come in for the second layer. But I do want to say I love this resin 8, but look at that glitter. So top left coming down, love the top area, love it here. It's the bottom area I want to work on. These flowers have sort of fell off, so I'm going to come back, and I think what I'm going to do is, I can't get this far enough out, is down here is where I got burnt creating this. I'm going to come back and put some more leaves in the foreground, but leave a little bit of this popping through and some more over here. So I want to keep the sneaky essence of some of this colour coming through, but add some more leaves in the foreground, and then maybe come back with some tiny little more pops of colour for the distance. This one here became a little bit too washed out, and that's because I applied my resin clear first and then it spread out. These one not too bad, and obviously there's a bit of movement to start with because it was a canvas board, but now it's got that first layer of resin in there. That's really going to help it, but I will keep my board in between it, and I've got my stumps at the corner. So there's also, not too sure what happened here, but I gained a ridge, so I am going to be adding a layer for that. But ultimately, other than there's I think a little hole here and maybe a couple of little holes, not too sure if that's because of myself or it's seeping through the canvas, but that's easily fixed, and I've got to put clear on it anyway. But love the top half, love the depth, love the sparkle that you see. So I will make sure I just work on this bottom half and show you how I do that, and then show you how I bring it more to the forefront, and I feel that that might be it then. So I will film the next process, but just wanted to show you where I am with this. But OMG, I'm loving this. I'm loving the colours, loving the depth, loving the sparkle. It's just a very happy piece that reminds me of my resin art and tin foil one, where it's a world of pure imagination, and this is a continuation of it, but it just makes me feel so happy seeing it. Anyway, I'm Sharon, I'm digressing. Let's go on to the next stage of this. Hi everybody, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. I'm going to be working on a second layer of this. This part here, not 100% happy with, so I'm going to come through with some more leaves, and I'll see what else I feel like, because I want to do this quite intuitively, and then we'll come back in and we'll give it another coat of resin. But hopefully you will enjoy this process. I'm sorry about the glare of the light behind me, but very hard to have resin with this colour and not get a high shine for you. But anyway, I'm digressing. I'm gonna get on with this, so come and enjoy me. Join me, or enjoy me. All right, Sharon, come on. So this is lost my video footage or recording of me creating the resin pour that just comes after this. I'm so sorry. I hope it doesn't devalue this, but just as it flicks into the next video, you'll see what it ended up like. And you can see that as I've applied my resin in the same process as I did on layer 1, the bottom piece just looks too chaotic. I do love the flower that I'm just painting over now, and the one to the left I enjoyed, but it spread too much, but the bottom was just a mess. It was just too busy, so I had to be very brave and I had to paint over it to start again, to just get that composition. And again, resin is expensive. I would never want to do 3 coats on this normally unless it was purposeful, but I was determined. I believed in this project. I believed it was going to come together, and I was right. This layer did it. But what was super amazing is, even though this is 3 times the charm, the image behind this ultramarine blue is popping through. And it's popping through enough that as I apply my acrylic and then my resin on top, you still see this coming through. So it looks like it's really in the background and misty and mysterious, but it adds so much to the depth. And sometimes you've just got to be brave. You've got to stand by your work. You've got to be proud about what you're showing. And there were aspects of the past 2 layers that I really enjoyed, but together it just did not work and it became too busy. So the only thing I could do is be brave. Now the colours I'm using is exactly the colours I'm using on layer 1 and layer 2 for the acrylics. If you want to see what that looked like, pop back and have a little look. But other than that, I'm just taking a breath, taking my time, and really trying to channel that positivity and forgetting the fact that it's the 3rd time, and just going with this. So enjoy some music, relax, don't stress too much. I'm really happy by the end result, and I hope you are, and I hope you've learned along the way some tips and tricks of what not to do or what to do, or when to be brave and just start again. So I will leave you to it. Enjoy and relax. So I'm loving my base that I've now got down with my acrylics, and I am just coming in with a pop of orange and red. So the colours I've used are the orange, vermilion, and also a deep red, and just rotating them down so there's one perception of a petal from a flower in the distance, working through the three different colours. Abstract flowers, just to give you that illusion of distance and foreground, but also to help make that blue pop. And I am just placing them wherever I think they look pretty. In my mind's eye, I imagine these more towards the bottom, and then leaving enough space at the top for 3 flowers done with resin with a similar kind of colour scheme. That's the intention. And the intention worked well, but it did transform into a phoenix. And yeah, I'm going to let you relax, and I'll talk to you a little bit more as that occurs. And I hope you're enjoying this music, you're feeling relaxed, and you're enjoying the colours. I'm so sorry, you are about to see where I lost my third and final footage, which equates to nearly 2 hours worth of where I applied my clear resin and the coloured resin that you can see to what was originally 4 pops of flower with some bold vibrant colours. I end up transforming it into the Phoenix Rising, and you're about to see that process. Again, apologies, but I hope you still enjoy seeing this. Like I say, Phoenix here, maybe that one's flying there and looking for something, like the wings and the tail.
Yeah, it looks like the tail of that phoenix looking back.
Oh, there you go. Should I add his body there? Or not?
No, I think, no, because he's behind this.
Flying Phoenix. But I feel like I need to just tone this one down a little bit. And maybe that one. I didn't know whether I saw one there. Look. Oh yeah, I'm just going to have a little bit of, not too much. But there's just something, it needs something. Now I don't know if I need to tone down the yellow here. Maybe there just with a few stripes of red.
I think he's a bit of overworking.
No, I'm studying this one, and I'm thinking there's just something about it that's not quite there. I love everything about it separately. Just need to do something to bring it together, but nothing major. And I think it's just a couple of tones of darker colours coming through in the background here to tone that down, because they're meant to be background.
Depends whether you want to highlight what looks like a phoenix, even though you're not going for that, in which case you want to tone that one down a bit. But then that doesn't make sense with these. That bit could, but these bits I guess don't make sense.
Well, so I'm thinking I could make that one more like that, as though it's blooming and opening. And that one could just be another phoenix there.
Yeah.
I might call this the flying phoenix. But now you showed me that with that eye, I can't unsee it now. I could see the phoenix here.
Yeah.
But then I saw this as another one diving. So that's its head curving around there and its wings and its tail. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah, I sort of see it as he's just looking.
The flying phoenix.
Back, yeah. All part of the same.
As I'm saying, there's a lot of it I really like. There's just something. And I think maybe it's...
And that bit could be part of it still.
That. This is me studying it when I'm like, I do not want to ruin what I've got. There's parts of this I really, really like. Majority I really like. It's just something, a tiny little bit of something to pull it all together.
Come back over here and have a look at it. Yeah, it's even different from over here.
Without my glasses now.
Get your glasses and have a look from over
I
here.
quite like that phoenix now you show me that. It's like a hidden phoenix.
But from over here, to me, if that is the phoenix, then that bit on the right doesn't quite blend in. Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah.
Well, that one in the background, I
Unless,
can tone it down.
Or you make another phoenix somehow.
Well, he looks like he's a phoenix flying. I could make his head come around more. So he's in the background, he's in the foreground, but I need to tone down that and that.
That could be really nice.
Do you think I need to tone down the yellow though on the phoenix, or do you think that makes him look?
No, don't touch the phoenix, I don't think. Because he's slightly blurry and but in a good way.
Yeah, abstract.
Yeah. I don't know how you turn the other one. You know what I see on the other one is Jiminy Cricket. He looks more like a grasshopper to me, the one on the right.
Which one?
That right flower.
Oh, because you're seeing his body up, aren't you?
Yeah.
I reckon I'll be able to tone that one down to look like
another phoenix.
Yeah. Hello, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Day. You can see me in the corner just there. There is super amount of high shine on this piece because of the dark, but I am going to do my best to try and stand where the light's not too much in the way. So I'm going to stand at the top right hand corner and bring it down, and you can see the depth just coming through here of the other image that I put the paint over, should I say the blue. And that's just added a lot of nice depth in that. And this is where I find the baby phoenix flying down, hiding in the flowers and looking for his bugs or friend, or where his mum is. That's my story. And here are some of these beautiful flowers, and just look at the depth in there. You can't see the glitter so much with this light, but when I switch it off and go to the other light, which won't show you the colours as bright, you'll get to see how the green takes over, and it's almost like a glow that you get. Sorry, the light is in the way. And I love that I toned these parts down and removed the yellow and brought it back. So very closely, you might not be able to see, but there's a lot of depth in here because of the painting that was behind it, and then I came back through and did sort of the foreground. And this is the one that I changed back into a flower from the yellow because I really wanted to capture that mother phoenix just there, who's hiding behind the plants looking over her baby that is here as he's playing in the flowers. And those two now, I believe, stick out more, and I believe that it's all come together as an image. But I suppose that's my view of it, but it's up to you. But I love the green leafing under there. That just helps add the pop. I love the depth, I love that. I love everything about this. I really do love the contrast in colours, but this phoenix here that came out of the resin that I put on there, and yes, I added that little bit of embellish with the eye and the beak. But I think that is a beautiful addition and helps your eye see that phoenix hiding behind that plant there. And there is so much beautiful bleeding out there, and those colours just look like he is on fire because he is the phoenix rising from the ashes. But when I switch it off again, the embellishment on his face will come out. But the depth and the colours and the high shine on this, it's beautiful. And again, where I brought the foreground forward there. The interesting thing working with this resin, where I really struggled with, you can see a little bit of that glitter there, is I have one little, let's see if I can find it there, yeah, there, dimple. Now I never normally struggle with dimples, you can just see it there in resin, and I'm wondering if it's user error because it is on a canvas, or if it is the new resin 8 that I'm working with. But I will monitor that and see. Sorry, I'm getting the big reflection of the mirror in there, so I'm going to try and come this way. But I absolutely love it. I hope you do. It's a lot of depth. There is a lot of contrasting colours, but it definitely is something that I find myself, I could look at it for a long time and see different things, and as I come in there, take you back to that depth. And I do love that you can see the image just subtly behind that captures your interest. So, you know, all the good stuff. Thumbs up, subscribe, share, comments are always welcome. Help me get my art out there. Watch as much as this video as you can, because that's your way of thanking me, the artist, for sharing my processes. And if you would like to buy this piece, or if you would like me to demonstrate with any of your products for my channel, because that's how it helps me be able to afford to keep putting my art out there, connect with me. Let's start having a conversation. Found a way to show the spark a little bit more, so you will get to see the light flashing through, but you will get to see the sparkle of this mystical piece come alive. It is just like 1,000 fireflies. Follow the light. even if I do say so myself.